So, welcome today as well. And it's one of the events that I'm very happy and excited to organize, as it is the most democratic and collaborative action that is organized throughout the Green Month. And I hope that it will have a strong impact in the future of university regarding sustainability. As we discussed also in the previous meetings, the previous events of Green Month, sustainable development has different aspects. And thank you for expressing also your interests about the topics you're most passionate about to discuss and find solutions to make the university more green, or if to put it more correctly, more sustainable. So today we're gonna discuss and discover three main topics, which is biodiversity, recycling and consumption, gender equality and disability within the university. And I would like to introduce today's speakers that for now is Mihkel Kangur, who is a researcher and associate professor at the School of Natural Sciences and Health at Tallinn University and represents the Life Projects Council. Welcome, Mihkel. And after the presentation, we will split up in, you have the opportunity to work together and split up in breakout rooms and discuss on the topics above mentioned, but I will give some more information and details how to do that later. So Mihkel, over to you.
Was there a question? Sorry, I was...
Good morning. It's quite difficult. I know, like, I was struggling as well. Mostly to talk a little bit about life projects and how, maybe I didn't mention that, sorry. How to talk about, you have supervised quite many TLU projects, and one of them was Topsivaba 2. So to give some brief introduction what it is, life projects, and how we can help universities, how we can help the university get more green through the life projects, and talk about for some of them from your experience. And Helen is also here. Welcome, Helen.
Sorry for the delay, technical problems.
No worries, we just started, so I just made an introduction, and Mihkel was about to start.
Yeah, maybe I'm starting from the history, why we have the life projects. In 2014, 2015, when we established our new strategy for university, or we adopted in Senate, and one aim of this was to establish university or reorganize university in this way that it doesn't follow so much as these academic disciplines, but rather focusing on the challenges or issues or constraints that the society has, and then focus on idea to start to solve these issues. So because the challenges or tasks that society has doesn't follow the academic disciplines borders, so they are always interdisciplinary by their characteristics, and then university seek the new way of acting. And actually it was quite a change in the Estonian higher education field. It was very broadly recognized, and one way what we discussed on that time on university was what about teaching, because if we are thinking about the education for sustainable development, especially in higher education, it is not so much about sustainability itself, but rather it is more about how the learning and teaching happens. And this high school pedagogics, or the way how lectures are given, it was very strong demand or need change this way, the way as well. The way how we are working here, both the students and then educators, how we are working in the universities, that is the way how we are doing it, it needed to change, because otherwise it doesn't fulfill the needs what society needs in order to solve their problems, because it's classical, traditional, middle-aged way of giving lectures, that someone who is able to read, who can reads the books, to the other ones who are not able to read, that this doesn't work. The idea to reach in this far, it is I would say that it is more than 15 years old idea to change the way how teaching happens in university. Professor Rein Raud, when he was the rector before Tiitland, so it is about 15 years ago. Already with him, we had the discussions that, okay, the way how we are teaching must change. Already on that time, when Tallinn University was renamed from Tallinn Pedagogical University. So the idea is the seek for the change the teaching patterns itself in university. It has been quite a while, and somehow through these discussions we reached out to this project-based learning pedagogics or to the ideas of teaching in this way, that the students are creating some kind of projects through their way on getting higher education. On that time, we had also the curricula for natural sciences and sustainable development, and on this curricula we already wrote in similar project-based learnings activities. Yeah, unfortunately, this curricula is closed down at the moment. Reasons what are not clear for me why this was done. But anyway, we established this project-based learning program in Tallinn University, and then I have been related with this program since the beginning on generating the idea, establishing this program, and I have been in this committee with leading this program since then. And then, of course, it has been quite interesting road trip on establishing something like this. We have had a lot of visits to some universities in Europe where similar project-based learning activities are happening, and then we have had visits here, visitors here in Tallinn University. So developing this program has been always in hand-to-hand with universities who are on this way. In 2013-14, when the new structure of Tallinn University was designed, or during the decision-making process, one university what we took as an example was Lüneburg University in Germany, which is the university of sustainable development in Europe. I would say one of the most successful universities on this field in Germany. Anyway, and then we followed somehow their structure and then their way of teaching and learning as well. So the life projects curricula or program is very strongly built on the roots of the education for sustainable development. So the idea behind this that the students are coming together from the different disciplines, starting to build up their own project, following their own ideas, or the general idea is coming from the supervisors. But as Hanna knows very well, that it is open field for all the students as well who has ideas that they can supervise as well these projects. So the students are taking the responsibility, very strong responsibility on their project. They are running it, they're building it up, and it is always has been in interdisciplinarity mood, so that the projects must solve some kind of societal issue. Solving these problems is one part of these projects. The more important part for university or the higher education view, or from the point of view of education for sustainable development, is all kinds of these growth processes, what are related with learning processes itself, and relationships between the team members. How to support these relationships, how to support collaboration, how to educate students to work in collaboration. And very strong, very good high school pedagogics. To warrant this, or to guarantee this, or to see that it is changing the pedagogics in university, or it is the method itself is scientific based. We established directly when we started this life projects program, we established also working team who has surveyed the life project program itself, how it is changing the way of thinking about teaching in university for the supervisors, comparing with teachers or educators in university who are not following this program. So we can see very clearly the trends of way of thinking among the academic staff in Tallinn University, of these people who are leading the life projects and who are not. So it's always voluntary who are supervising and who are not. But we can see from our study that it develops the way of how the teaching happens also in Tallinn University, and it follows more and more the demands or the basics of the education for sustainable development by its characteristics. Yeah, for me, this life project has been always one way how I have dreamed about how the education in university should happen, because building up something new, developing something with colleagues, learning new skills, getting new knowledges, experiences through doing something actively. It follows these classical sustainability education, pedagogics. So doing something by hand, by heart, and by head. This constructive pedagogics patterns, what are on the base of the education for the sustainable development. So in total, yeah, I have been, like I said, I have been on this road since beginning, and at the moment I'm not sure anymore how many projects I have been involved. I think that it is in tens of the projects, and from every project I have learned something. This is what I like the most, that I have learned about the topics, what the students have developed. I have got new ideas on this field. I have learned so much about the leadership, about leading the students. Every year, every semester, there are new students. It's like a box of chocolate. Every time when the semester starts, you never know who are the students who are coming into the group, and it is. I must say that I have enjoyed these teams a lot. It has been always very active, very good collaborators who want to develop something, who wants to do something better in society, in university, or so on. So this enthusiasm, the way of thinking, the ideas, the demand to develop something, that it has been a very big driver for me. That even I'm quite often, and then I have been always supervised these projects. Most of the projects that I have supervised, I have been doing it with Liisa. That quite often we are tired of these supervising them, but supporting each other with Liisa, or getting back so strongly positive emotions from the students as well, that it has kept us on tracking. And then, yes, most of our projects, what we have supervised with Liisa, they are related with some tasks or some parts of, or some they have followed the idea of developing something in the field of sustainable development. And when I have analyzed as a member of the committee of this program, when I have analyzed these projects, I would say that mostly the projects are somehow fitting under the umbrella of sustainable development. That if we are looking the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, then somehow we can put all these life projects what we are running here in Tallinn University, we can put them under some goal or some goals, so that in larger picture, most of the life projects are somehow helping Tallinn University to fulfill the aims of the sustainable development in this general level. And I think that since 2015, when we have our mission has been in university to lead or to follow in every aspect of our doings in universities, that we are following the sustainable development goals, sustainability, that this LIFE project is the most representative of this mission, that there are very few other examples to take from the university life where we could see that we are fulfilling this mission. And yes, I have been lucky to be part of this. I'm really very happy that I have been part of this program to develop it. And I see that what we can see over the history of these LIFE projects, that they are getting better. Every semester they are getting stronger. The ideas are more demanding. They are not something very simple anymore. We are dealing with very hard issues related with the human rights or this very simple greening the university campus or these things that they're getting stronger all the projects, and the participation and the motivation of the students who are participating on the project, it's only rising. And so definitely we are not at the end of the road. Definitely we are not on the peak. We are not in the plateau with these projects. That the quality can rise, the ideas how to do it, how to support students on this field. It's only growing, and we can see how it starts slowly but steadily change the way how university acts in its teaching and so on. Of course, this COVID period has changed a little bit some aspects, but still the project has been very successful. So maybe I have been too long.
No, I guess you're completely on time, and thank you very much. I have one question regarding the TLU projects, or LIFE projects, and to summarize somehow with your presentation, I understand that it's not only about the topic that we are working on during the project, but it's also, as you mentioned, the pedagogic principles that it has to actually address education for sustainable development on its core or its main goal, which is very important. And it's great that even though you're in higher education, and we are, I guess, in all universities, a transition about what is the teaching model that we are teaching or learning, to actually, even with one course that for every student is mandatory throughout the higher education program that he or she attends, to get involved and learn how to learn or how to unlearn through the LIFE project. My question is coming mostly on how we can push for more changes for the university towards sustainability through the LIFE projects. If somebody has an idea as a student or as academic staff, and how to work on that.
One direction what we have taken in this core group of these LIFE projects, that what we expect more and more in future is that the LIFE projects are mostly established or led by the students. That the students are bringing out the ideas, what project to run. Hanna is very good example of this, that how this could happen, and I'm really happy to see the directions what Hanna has taken on this field, and I hope that she continues what she's doing, and I hope that she got it seems that she got positive emotions on this. She can share her experience as well. But our idea on this, that if the students are raising the idea, then the motivation on participate on this project is much higher, and this means that the project is more for the students. That if they are learning something through this, that it is already more strongly taken in, and then helps them. The learning process itself is much more effective through this. But this means also that that the door is open for possibilities to change something in Tallinn University. This topsivaba elu, this to get rid of the single-use coffee cups, that it is based on one of the previous projects where we analyzed that it was done together with one university in Mexico, when students analyzed the possibility for zero-waste lifestyle in university context. So that is it possible that the university itself is zero-waste? And during this project, what appeared that the waste management system in Tallinn University was, I'm not sure how is the situation at the moment. It seems that not much different, but we didn't follow on that time the waste management legislation in Estonian Republic, what demands are for the offices or enterprises like the universities. So, yeah, a little bit, or it's somehow happened that on that life project there was also one officer from Ministry of Environment whose task is to deal with the waste management in Estonia, and so she got quite good overview what happened in how it is built up in Tallinn University. And then on that time, the students also visited Rectorate, and the result was not very surprising. I have seen it for many years, that because of it is not important question for the Rectorate, that it is it's not expensive to give over the unsorted waste, and it is much more expensive to organize the sorting itself in offices. And that's why university's leadership doesn't follow the requirements of sorting the waste in university. And of course, sorting waste is dealing with outcomes or the results. So we need to deal with starting point of the waste management, or where the waste is generated. So it is much more cheaper to avoid the waste than to deal with them. And as me and Lisa, we were students, or we are still now master students in university, and then we took the classes on that time. And then this view, what we saw from auditoriums, it was very big surprise for us that students are leaving their. It is good if they left their single-use coffee cups onto the waste bin, but quite often they left them just under the tables, under stairs, chairs, and on the table. So it was clear that we need to do something on this. That this picture is not normal for us. And then we established this or started this Topsivaba Elu first in a year ago. The pandemic changed our plans. We needed to reorganize. That's why we did it in 2 semesters. And after analyzing all these possibilities, how to deal with the single-use coffee cups in university, we finally ended up with that it is the cheapest and only sustainable way how we can deal with the single-use coffee cups is to deal with the mindset of the students. That otherwise all other solutions are expensive and they are not sustainable. And yeah, at the moment, as making a joke, we can make jokes that at the moment all the programs with the single-use coffee cups are solved in university. There are not in use any single-use coffee cups at the moment because no one is in university. But we know that in future this question rise again, and yeah, it is very good example where we can see how strong can be the force of students on changing something in university, because it's being example and demandful among the other students, but also demandful for the university. It is a possibility for the students to act. That definitely it is not the ended road as well. Who knows how we are starting work in autumn semester, how university has changed for that time. But it is not a question only about the university, but it is in greater sense, it is important in our society, that how much waste we are producing and how we could change the mindset in society, that we wouldn't produce the waste anymore. That the solution is not sorting all the waste, but avoiding the waste. And we are forced to do it because going to the directions of the circular economy, it's just demands. And we know at the moment that in 2 years, single-use plastic is not allowed anymore in European Union. So we need to find the solutions for that anyway. So in short, my message is that this Topsivaba Elu Life project showed that it is enormously big resource what university has as having students in university who wants to change how university looks like, how university acts, and students are invited and welcomed and strongly supported on bringing their own ideas on what we could change in the university. It doesn't mean that we have run out of the ideas. At least we have plenty of ideas how we could change the university, but as I said earlier already, that if the students are bringing up their own ideas, then the motivation and the motivation on working on this project is much higher, and the learning outcomes are much stronger. The effectiveness of this way of learning is much higher, and then that's why we are supporting, we are pushing the idea that the students would come out with their ideas. But of course, Katerina, you can share your experiences. How was work on such a project, and then Hanna, how was to lead such a project? What started from your quite simple question, not a small question, but quite logical and understandable question, and how it is ended now on creating, developing the portal for Estonia about sustainable development. The starting point can be a quite simple question, but the end point can be something much greater than we could expect on when we started this road. So yeah.
Thank you very much for your comments and your input. From my side, what I can say is that ELO gives you the opportunity to dare to care and to take action, and actually to see. Personally, in my blood, it is to complain for everything. I like to complain. So basically, the university and that project was giving me the opportunity to just not complain, but take my complaint about the single-use coffee cups and bring it into life and see how I can reduce that phenomenon, not with screaming to people to don't do it, but actually do something more systematic and see who is actually involved in all this process and why it is not solved. It is not just me, there are more people that complain, and why nothing is happening. So this journey gave me the opportunity to understand why nothing is happening and what needs to be done in advance in order to eliminate and solve that problem. And I believe that it's not only in this specific project, it's in all the life projects like that, that whatever you address and when you actually trying to take action towards this, you see how many obstacles you have there. You see how many different values and attitudes and benefits, let's say, are coming. Because as you mentioned, yes, from the one side, it is that we want to eliminate that and about the waste, but from the Rectorate side, it is cheaper. So you have the economical perspective. You have, in the case of Topsivaba, the coffee owners that they wanted to just don't have more work, which for the first 3 months we didn't address that at all, because we were thinking, come on, it's for their benefit, but we didn't ask them. And this was the moment that we understood that this is how we see things as students, as consumers. We're not working the cafe every day. We don't have to pay their taxes or their wages and so on. So we have to see it from the others, from the eyes and the perspectives of the others as well. And that's quite important to understand what are the values that we actually have at the university. And during Green Month, that's what I'm trying to do, actually shed light to all the perspectives that we have and to see how this can be compromised, let's say, put it in quotes, in order to find the solution that is better for all and address sustainable development, not just with these 17 beautiful colored squares, but what it actually means in real life. And I would like to give a little bit time to Anna-Gert as well, because I didn't know about that. So I would like to hear more. And it's great to see some shiny initiatives and perspectives of the people that we already have here.
Thank you. I actually didn't know that I didn't mention it to you, but I guess now it's interesting to hear for you. Yeah, well, my, let's say, interest in those life projects started already earlier because I didn't know, but when I came to university, it turned out that I'm a person who likes to just create everything and just start new things and just all the time do something. So I thought like I had created already like things. Well, we created this philosophy club, which was like independent and so on. So I thought like it would be fun to try out something which is not like independent and which has like some, let's say, official support. So I thought like I'm gonna try that. So first of all, we actually created with friends like this live project, which was about philosophical podcast, because I'm a philosophy student. So this is actually my first passion, sorry to say, but yeah, so we did that, but I couldn't supervise it, and I felt like I really want this experience as well. And then I was looking like basically looking for a problem to solve, and it sort of came to me because in April when we had like the first lockdown, I was looking for a new shirt, and I wanted to make like this change in my life, that I'm not buying any more fast fashion, because I think I had some documentaries about it, or I just had this like crazy idea that, okay, from this point on, I'm only gonna buy like sustainable clothes and like produced in sustainable way or from sustainable materials and such. So I was looking for like a turtleneck shirt to buy, and for this I had to like, I think I had to read 4 days of like just different articles related on those materials, on different stores selling them, different means of production. And I was so tired that I was already like about to give up on this shirt. I was like, I don't need it. I don't need to buy anything like which is good. I will be without the shirt, whatever. And I just felt like it would be such a great idea if there was a website which would have like all those like links to other websites or just articles which would tell people about how to recognize like different labels, how to recognize sustainable action when you consume something. So this is what I proposed to the life projects as well. And then we discussed with Mihkel in summer, in the middle of the summer, I went to the university. I don't know why, but it's such an experience for me. And so we discussed my idea, and it turned out that there is like this arengukoostöö ümarlaud, AKÜ. I think Katariina, you know it as well.
Estonian Coalition for Sustainable Development.
Yeah,
yes.
I think it's the translation. And then also Proovikivi, which you also know, and then the state. I had this word, chancellery, Riigikantselei. So they are developing together like already this website, and so my life project could somehow contribute to that. So we created questionnaires, we carried them out, we asked people what they want to see, what they need, and what they already know about sustainable development goals. And this is like this was already in autumn, and since this time I've been, I would say, drowning in sustainable development goals and all this, all those topics. And yeah, to assure Mihkel, I will of course continue with those subjects, because I have 2 jobs which are related to them, only thanks to this life project, because I have this experience, and yeah, it's great. And I'm also volunteering in this Youth Environmental Council, Lisa, I think it's a translation. So I'm also there and also dealing with those topics. So I think it was like, thanks to the need of the shirt, I sort of managed to get this life-changing experience. And it's just, yeah, I think this was my view on those things. But I definitely never thought of life projects as only dealing with sustainable development goals. And I actually think it's a good idea if they're like giving also those other aspects and other opportunities for people to just create anything.
Yeah, it's one our dream on establishing this life project was that it is life-changing experiences, and then it is very good example of Johanna that it is definitely life-changing experience, and it works. And then if the students are taking responsibility, taking the action, it's a lot of things can happen. When we had in autumn we had seminar with Günther Pohli, one of the great minds on the field of the doing business in sustainable way, and this blue economy leader in the world. So when he gave a master class about the sustainability entrepreneurship in higher education, and he looked the description of the life project and program and so on. Of course, he congratulated us that it is this is the way how he sees. Actually, he is author of the series of films about how to develop the systemic thinking about the sustainable development. So he's like quite often entrepreneurs that they are starting in one point to think about the future perspectives in the pedagogical or educational field, and he has developed his own programs on this and educational system. And his suggestion was that to open more and more the life projects for the students, that encourage students to rise their crazy ideas, as crazy as possible, that whatever the question is, that to help the students to try the craziness during the university studies, because afterwards there are so many risks. If the students are finished the university, there are always a risk that you are risking with your money, you are risking with your career, and then so on. So taking the risks are somehow disappearing, especially if you're getting in middle age, that you need to take care of your family and so on. But bringing a safe place for students to do something without risking anything. That this is the idea what we have dreamed of doing, and we must admit that we see that from our educational system, from the elementary schools or the formal school system, that this craziness has killed in our students, that we need to evoke it again, that this craziness what the children in kindergarten still have, that they want to seek something, they want to develop something, they want to run to fly to the moon, or build a ladder to the moon, or so on, so that this craziness is killed in our education system, and our task is now to evoke this, that the students would like to take risk of following their dream once again. And this is important. Another comment that I wanted to make is that somehow yes, this coalition has became our very good partner on these life projects. In in autumn semester, we had like 3 projects in the same time with the coalition partners, and then previously, as the coalition was established, and then Tallinn University joined this coalition in quite early days, thanks for Liisa's activities. So with the partners in this coalition, and also not in coalition, we have developed, I think, also some 10 and more projects, including like Let's Do It World, several projects, Cleanup Day projects, Green Tiger project last autumn, last spring, and so on. So this is another possibility for the students, that working with partners outside of academia, outside of university, would bring the students to the contact of the future jobs, so taking responsibility. I'm not suggesting, or I'm not saying that, or I don't suggest anyone to go to work to someone, for someone. I'm strongly suggesting students to become the leader, to become the entrepreneur on whatever field. But it depends. The most important that the students are able to collaborate, whatever in teams, whatever way, and if this is something that we can develop in Tallinn University, that the alumni of Tallinn University are well known as people with a lot of ideas and with good skills on collaborating. Then we have already fulfilled great part what is needed in our society on the way for the circular economy or for the sustainable lifestyle. So that you are very good examples. I wanted to say that these experiences and the way how you have participated and what responsibilities you have taken in these life projects is very good examples where it can lead. And then this is exactly what the core group of the life projects program, what we seek, towards what we want to develop this program.
Thank you very much, Mihkel. I have to stop you there.
Yeah,
Because it can take hours, this discussion. I really love these discussions, but I think we can move on. And I would like to thank also Anna-Gerta for her insights from her experience. It is my mistake. Yes, we have discussed it. I just didn't make the connection between it started like an L project. That's the information that I was missing. And I would summarize then to actually take risks and take this opportunity, as Mihkel said, as a safe space to create things that, yes, potentially can lead you to a better situation in your career. But this is not the intention. The intention is to learn how you want to work in your career. If you have this opportunity through life projects, which would be nice, or if it would be after you finish your university or started something else, it's quite a valuable experience. And I would like to give the floor to Helen to talk about how actually the Rectorate can support the students and what are the future plans to include sustainability in the university, and how students can be supported from the Rectorate side. I think you're muted.
Thank
Perfect.
you. First of all, thank you for asking me to reflect upon things we do at the university as of now on the Rectorate level, and I'm saying it as of now since we will have a new rector in 1 month's time, and as of now I don't have any ideas about how sustainability will be integrated into new rectorates. So I can talk about the ideas of the rectorate we have until May the 15th. But nevertheless, I've been working as vice rector for sustainable development for a little bit more than 1 year, half position, and within that time, I've seen sort of my mission to enlighten the rectorate, but also non-academic staff, to understand why we need to talk about sustainable development and what would be the first steps to reach out to the problems that are the most pressing in the university and across all fields that university deals with, and they are the campus itself or the organization as such, Tallinn University as such, then teaching and then research, and also how to make the outreach to the society. What I first of all, I would have to say that it's been a bumpy road, and I guess the bumpiest road of my life, full of challenges, with people first of all asking if I'm forbidding people to eat meat and park cars and drive cars and whatnot, which means that there are very strong prejudices when we talk about sustainable development still existing in Estonian society and also at the university. So we have different views on sustainability, and explaining sustainable development is hard. Not when we talk about more than environmental impact. So this is sort of one reflection, but nevertheless, we have some initiatives that are in the middle of the process. One of them is I would say it's not a strategy, but it's and it's not a legally binding regulation, but let's say it's an initiative for the next 2 years. The activities, what could be done at the university in these fields I just mentioned. It was teaching, research, campus and organization, and the fourth is then outreach or dissemination to the society. So we have had a working group working on this sort of paper on these initiatives, and I would like to. I hope I hope to do it today to make this document public so that everyone at the university can comment on it. COVID has made everything much slower as expected, as it's not so easy to reach out to people. Everything is done via email and waiting answers from one or another, and it can take weeks to put things in action. But nevertheless, this document will be available for comments and reflections, and I guess mostly I expect people to discuss what sustainable development is, because this is something that has been asked from me tens and tens of times. What do we mean by sustainable development if we talk about sustainable development in Tallinn University? So this is one thing. So what does that paper include? First of all, campus itself. I'm happy to say that as of 1st of April, we have someone called environmental manager working for Tallinn University, and she will be in charge of making, first of all, making campaigns together with the PR department on how to reduce waste, how to make things more sustainable in terms of in terms of packaging and so on and so forth. Secondly, she will go through the processes such as green office in order to map. Actually, the mapping is being done as of now with the energy audit. We have an energy audit going on and done by the environmental management students with two supervisors. So we have the energy audit, and she will then take over the audit and start with the process of green office. Hopefully, if the rectorate accept this way of thinking, or this way of understanding the need of having green office as a regulation. So green office is something that looks into very many different fields, much about waste management, but there are also social issues. Green office is my hope that will be integrated into the management of the university. And when we talk about the university, then it's not only the campus in Narva-Maantee, but it's also the library and other buildings that university owns. But here I'm not talking about the dormitories. Dormitories are another thing, and this is also a challenge that the university should take charge of. But I have personally not had time to work on the dormitories. So one big thing that I'm hoping that will happen when we talk about reducing waste, for example, that we're reducing packaging, is that we have two procurements. Everything at the university goes through procurements. Procurements meaning hanked. So if we can change, or we can't change the procurements for the cafeterias right now, but we have now elected a new partner for Mare building, and part of the description of the procurement was that we don't want waste. We don't want coffee cups. We don't want plastic takeaway things, and so on and so forth. So we're looking at this box cycling initiative, and definitely we will talk through if we can get this lunchbox initiative also into Tallinn University. As an option for takeaway things. Well, I see that takeaway things from the cafeteria is a bigger issue than just taking things away. Then the question is where you can eat your food if you take it away, and if you, more importantly, when we talk about food waste, it should be also important to have places where to eat your own food, so you can take your own leftovers from home and eat them as lunch. As of now, I think we have only one place for the students where the food can be warmed up in Silva building. So this again is a challenge, how to establish such places, or for example, can we do it in the same cafeterias where we have the partners serving food. I think this would be the most normal thing, that we have, for example, microwave ovens there, and people can warm up their own food. So this is a challenge for the next year, when the two partners, the contracts in Terra building and Astra building, the contracts are ending, and we will look for new partners. But this is something again that the Rectorate should be willing, because it all involves money. So let's hope for that as well. Now I've been talking only about some very small initiatives. One big thing that is on my that has been in my mind, an initiative that came from the students, was to get chargers for the scooters. So if you have your own scooter, for example, electric scooter that you can charge at the university. And we here had cooperation with the Estonian Academy of Arts, who had the same issue. They also wanted to do a charger, but it turned out that we didn't find that charger. So that would fit to different models. So I guess it's impossible. It's even funny that there's nothing like that in the market available right now, but maybe you students can find it. We've searched the Google and we haven't. So that would be like one thing I'd really like to do, to have a couple of chargers for scooters, because if we have those chargers, it is quite possible that people would be willing to come to university with scooters. Yes, that's like one of the things, because we see the rise of the numbers of scooters coming up very quickly. However, I've been told by mobility specialists that somehow it is mostly young men who use scooters and not so much women, if we like look at that proportionally. But I don't even know if that's true and what's behind that. But nevertheless, it might be good to have electric bikes charging points as well. But that's something for the future to think, and maybe something that the student union and all students want to think along. That's for sure, because as I've understood, the Rectorate is willing to make such changes. Then what else? What else would you like to hear? I would personally say that if we talk about cooperation between student union or students and the Rectorate, then I have been hoping for more cooperation from student union. My idea has been that there's someone dealing only with sustainability issues in the student union, as well as I'm doing on the Rectorate level, so that we would have a stronger fist for making changes at the university. As of now, I don't have that partner. It's always so that I ask the person in charge of the person who is in charge of social issues, is also in charge of sustainability, that we don't have that sort of communication happening. But again, it's COVID. So much is prevented by COVID, unfortunately. But nevertheless, students voted a rector voted a new rector, and the precondition was to, or the condition for the new rector was to make sustainability happen. So I guess pressing on that button is possible more than ever. And that's sort of my my hope that it will happen. I have personally tried to reach out for student union, but not being so successful as I hoped for. Maybe I can answer your questions if you have any questions regarding what's going on.
Thank you very much, Helen. Before we move to the question part, I would like to make a comment regarding the cooperation with the student union, because that is the, I don't know how you cooperate for in the long term, but since I am in that position since February, and the reason that I am in that position since February is because of the assessment social. I don't know how to say it in English, like the position that currently Anna Kerta has, and she started this week. And compared to the previous years, for devoting only 1 week in green activities, and this year it is 1 month, and I guess it is already show some progress regarding this, plus the fact that you are today here as well, and you were in the previous events, and all the guests and all the things that we are trying to raise up. And personally, I'm quite happy that we had also these calls before, and we tried to collaborate and to organize these activities all throughout April, and continue. And hopefully that, I suppose that after this year, the situation with the student union and how seriously the sustainability topic is addressed will get better and better. Thank you very much, Helen, for your contribution. And I would like to mention something, that it is important that the voice of students is heard, and maybe we're more in numbers, but doesn't mean that we're more in power. And especially living in the capitalistic world and system, and we see how much people are suffering, even though they are much more in numbers, but the power and the wealth in a few people's hands. So we have to see also that yes, we can advocate and talk, but when we actually take these ideas into practice is a different story. And as we have half an hour more, and we have mostly 3 participants from those that registered and wanted to discuss and bring their insights, and it would be nice to hear. I was thinking that it would not be wise to actually split up in breakout rooms and discuss, because we are not so many. So I would just post in the all in the chat, sorry, all the categories that I have mentioned in the registration form that we can address today, which is food and water, biodiversity, energy and transport, recycling and consumption, and gender equality and disability. And I would like to invite you by introducing 3 prompts that I will put in the chat now, and actually talk about that as well. So I would invite you to choose one of the we got just another person in the meeting, and it's Marilyn. So welcome, Marilyn.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm so sorry, but at least you're still here.
We're here, and actually we were about to start the discussion, and you came in the moment that I was trying to start making the questions. So be with us and just be energetic and ready to take action. So let me say that again. So we have some categories that I have introduced through the registration form about sustainability within the university. And And I would like to pose 3 questions for each and every person that is here as a participant to mostly address which of these fields are for you important, what actions you would like to see take place in this field within the university, and how the university will approach that. And let's have approximately 5 minutes. If you want to talk 5 minutes, it's totally fine. If you want to talk 1 minute and get 4 minutes feedback, it's totally fine. But let's be a little bit mindful regarding time, so everybody has space to talk and space to be heard, space to create some more solutions. I will not delegate people, and I'm just receiving some very shy messages in the chat to who not to pick. So I guess Marilyn, you came last, so you will start.
Should I start right now?
If it's okay for you.
Okay, so I pick one topic and I answer the questions.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, which of these topics are mostly close to your heart, or you would like to see some changes towards the university? What kind of changes and how the university can actually address that?
Wow. Well, of course, like I see that each of these topics is important, but I personally maybe wouldn't come out with any certain solutions regarding energy or transport, biodiversity maybe. So I would say that recycling, consumption, food, water are maybe these ones what I would like to see improving for sure. And if it's a question how and what actions, well, I think that it's just about communication and regarding food and water, as Topsivaba TLU already started off with being in touch with our cafeterias, then maybe that's a place where to start bringing these topics in again and letting know every stakeholder that is important, and maybe I don't know, maybe there's something that cafeterias could do. And recycling, consumption, yeah, as well. Like I cannot really bring any certain steps right now, but one idea is that maybe some of these 5 categories could be tackled also like in a bigger plan. For example, like with the help of other stakeholders outside. So for example, I'm an ambassador representing our university in a student union called the Baltic University Program, and it's such a great place because it engages more than 100 universities in the region. And I see that they are a little bit struggling with starting off the cooperation between universities, but I see that it's so important. It's such a good place to bring together all these universities and do something together. Like, do we have the same problems? Do we want to solve them together? And I think it would be much easier than to just be closed here. I think these are my thoughts.
Thank you very much, Marilyn. And some days ago, we had on the 5th of April, one webinar that was Anselm Krachel from Green Office Movement, that they are trying to, they're doing is actually that collaboration of universities towards sustainable development in Germany, Netherlands, and it is impressive, like the methodology and all the things that they have given us as well as tools on how to actually work in that and take more action and make projects. So I would happily actually share that and see how we can establish maybe something like that in the Baltics as well. Why not? I guess we can move to the next one. Who wants to go next?
Sure, I can go next. I also don't feel that I am very knowledgeable enough maybe in this subject, but still the fields that I chose that are important to me are food and water, but also energy and transport and biodiversity. But the concrete kind of actions that I would like to see, if we take for example the transportation field, then I feel like our university is very lucky that we have very crappy parking for cars, but we are not lucky that we have kind of the bicycle parking is kind of lacking in my opinion. I know that there have been talks about it before as well, that almost every access or campus should have bicycle parking spots available, not only at Mare or at the in the inner courtyard. And if we talk about electric scooters, then I think bicycles are also something to actually consider, that it is more comfortable to kind of use that as a transportation device when you go to school. And I mean, we heard so many things that are being done, and I think a lot of people are already, or all of the things that I think of are kind of already being considered. But I guess if we take food, then we do have every cafe has an option of something vegetarian or something vegan. But I feel like it's also, in a way, it shouldn't always be an alternative choice, but because there is a movement time, the teisipäev and stuff, there should be a day where the daily special is vegetarian or vegan. It just more based on fruits or vegetables. It shouldn't be only an alternative, but it should be a normal thing that once a week a person doesn't consume meat with their daily special. But if we take future procurements for cafes or something, then I think it would be nice if one day there is only the one option or two options of something that is only plant-based, basically. But yeah, I guess that is my ideas at the moment.
Thank you, Annalise, for bringing that. And I guess it's important that for the cafes, not just to create a day or to do something collectively, because let's say that if cafe A has just a vegetarian menu or the special, let's say, now it comes in Estonia, the pakkumised, the special offer for the day is vegetarian, but the other two have meat, then the person will be like, okay, I will go to the others if I want meat. But if you somehow, let's say, change the mainstream of the good food is meat and change that to the good food can be also something else and it can be also tasty, then that is better. They need to win. Definitely. Thank you. And we have Anna Gerta and Lisa. Who, you have both the cameras off, so I cannot see if it's a yes or a no. I saw one in. Yes, go.
Yes, I'm here. I was out of the room for a while, but now I'm back. To prioritize, it's difficult to bring out some the most important topic. All of these are important. During these days, actually, I would raise equality, not only gender equality, but equality more widely. Definitely as a small woman, I know and I have felt incidents connected with gender equality as well. But equality in terms of here in university, how equally we treat people here, not in academic, these people who are having academic positions, but all others as well. Yeah, it's definitely the issue, and it is definitely the topic we have to deal with. these things, I have to say that I have personally felt issues here, and not here. I don't bring out only gender equality, but equality more widely. Equality, how you can develop here in the university as an academic person, as a researcher. So these things are very important to deal with, and these are part of sustainable development, very big part of, and all these social issues, what we somehow forget if we are speaking about sustainable development. All these things are very important. Education as well, and all other issues. We too often we forget that social issues are part of sustainable development. We are thinking about environmental issues like biodiversity here, and this is absolutely important, because environment and biodiversity, for example, from here, are creating us the environment where we can act, where we can live and have happy life. But our social community also keep us alive and happy. So that's why here in today I bring out equality.
Thank you very much.
May I add to this?
Yes. I was thinking to finish the circle and give it just to you and Helen. So as you wish. If you
okay.
want to Anna-Kerta?
No, I feel bad for interrupting Nick, but I would have brought out consumption and recycling, mainly focusing on consumption, because I feel that, well, we all know that this is the main reason why things are going the way they are right now. And I think that we're lacking some kind of consistency. Like, I feel personally, I know I am, because I have those days where I feel like, okay, not going to consume anything which I don't actually need and things like that. But then some other days I feel like, okay, but this well-being is also important, so I can afford myself something which is it's not actually important, but it is in some level. So it's hard to prioritize sometimes. And I think that if we had more of this consistency, that's everyone try to minimize their consumption and all those things, then it would be the best. And of course, the goal I see is that everyone actually consumes only to the amount that they actually need, and maybe a bit more because of, I don't know, because you can, or what should be the reason. But the university could approach it just by I guess making some guidelines on how to behave and how to minimize your consumption, and of course also how to reduce your everyday footprint then. But yes, word to Mihkel then.
Thank you very much. May I add, and then I leave it to you. I'm so sorry. I don't want to just exceed the time again today, because this week is always going more, and I don't want to keep you. I would be glad if you would like to stay, but just to be in time and be sure that we covered everything. Thank you very much for your all inputs and approaching. As we said, sustainability has different aspects, and we can address multiple things from top to down and bottom up solutions, and all we can contribute in that according to what talks mostly to our heart or what it is important for us. At least for this event, I would like to mention mostly from my perspective that this the gender equality, the disability, and the access in general, and inclusivity and diversity as a foreign student in Tallinn University, and also as a woman in Tallinn University, and as a learner of Estonian since I'm here. And it's I have addressed it to Lisa last year in a course that was quite irrelevant, but I was very upset about the whole situation and the materials that we are taught as adult learners, a foreign language, and instead of getting the culture and learn what it is, Estonian, which is just a reproduction of gender stereotypes, of victim blaming, of rape culture, and so on. And it's not only in one particular organization or in one particular book, it's in all. I think I have done with 6 different teachers in 6 different environments, let's say, or courses, different courses, and it's everywhere the same pattern. And whenever I raise that either to the teacher or to the writers, the answer I get is, oh, it is your perspective, do not see it like this. You cannot start the first page of a book for learning a language with the boys are smart and the girls are beautiful. That's the reason that most of us are mostly traumatized all our lives, and we just regenerate that. And I'm quite sad about this because I have been living in Estonia before I started working and studying at Tallinn University, and not in Tallinn. So I have seen a quite different aspect of Estonian culture, and it's very sad to see that, and not only to see and feel it, but a way to normalize it, that it is okay. It is you who sees that like this. It is normal. And I have seen it also with the disability aspect as well at the university. Last year I was participating in Starter in autumn 2019. We had the closing ceremony, the semifinals at Tallinn University, because it's a joint program and it happens in all universities. Tallinn University is a university that is very proud of saying that we have the infrastructure for wheelchairs, but for that day we had a participant that was with a wheelchair, and we were downstairs. I don't remember which was the in Astra building. I don't remember the number. Anyway, but it is impossible that this it has stairs, and the person was up, and we were all gathered together. We were 40 people, I think, down to make a picture, and he was upstairs. And when I said, "Hey, that's not normal. Let's bring him down," and they were like, and what do you want us to do, to go up? And it was like, yes, let's go up. And in the end, the picture that we did was we are all sitting in the amphitheater and make the picture. It's not something about the picture, it's about the mentality that, okay, we are 30 that we can walk and go down the stairs, and we go down and make the picture, and we left this one alone there. And this can be translated also, we are 30 people speaking Estonian, and there is one person speaking English and doesn't understand Estonian, and it is okay, we continue speaking like this. And you can translate that in different ways, that the access or the availability of things can happen in different contexts. And it's very nice to advocate that we are taking steps, but how we implement actually the steps. And I will close my rant somewhere here. And I will return back to Mihkel. Thank you very much for all your inputs and being here today, and work, as I said before, dare to care and to take action. And I will return to Mihkel and Helen afterwards to comment on the ideas that we have listened to, and maybe some other comments regarding what the Institute of Ecology is doing towards sustainability that I'm sure that the rest of the university is not aware of.
Previously I wanted to comment, but you, Katariina, you covered some part of the my comment. What I wanted to say, but few words I'm giving also. If I would need to choose from these 5 topics, what is the most important, with what university needs to deal, I would choose also the equality, because the rest of these 5 from these, they're technical issues, and this is just how we are prioritizing, and it can be solved with quite simple changes in technicalities or in technology, or they're technical issues. It's nothing nothing so hard to solve, but with what we in Tallinn University, what we are facing, what is not maybe so clearly visible for the students, but among the academic staff, with what we clearly struggle is unequal treatment of people who are working here, the way how what are the working load for the different peoples, how the developments in career are for some people are made so much easier, and then for some people it is just blocked in every stage, and it's depending only on the informal relationships among the staff, as it is given the signal also in written form for us. It's not just that it is unfair for some people, but what we can see is that it starts to affect the quality of teaching. That for what we are here in Tallinn University, one of the tasks for university is to give the high quality education in university, and this unfair workload amongst the people, unfair treatment of the people affects this quality of work so strongly that it doesn't matter actually if we are saving the energy, if we are saving the water, or if we are sorting the waste, because if we are giving not quality enough education for the students, this means that all the resources what we have used has been wasted. So that we need to develop quality education, and it is relying on equal treatment of the people in among the academic staff as well. So there are very strong issues with what we need to face with, and it is not, we can't say that it is somehow related with the gender. It's not that male bosses are hard for the female workers. It can be in different forms. So equality in very different levels are in not proper shape at the moment in Tallinn University, and this is the biggest concern. Yep, I can't say that in Institute of Ecology. Yeah, what I can see is that definitely is a smaller team where the people are more close to each other. That there is and we are we're relying on our income is only from the scientific projects, so the scientific expertise is what the only quality criteria for the people. So these non-formal relationships among the people are not so strong, and then so that's why it's easier to keep these relationships healthy as well here. As being part of the bigger system, we are trying to do our best. We are sorting our waste, putting our biodegradables into the warm bin, bringing out our own papers, not relying on the waste management system in university, but bringing our papers out of the university by ourselves. So trying to do the best what is possible in these conditions, and trying to be as resource conscious as possible. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much. I want to bring out these warm beams that probably people are not aware about. So thanks for mentioning and highlighting that. And on Monday, we will have Lisa as the main speaker and talk about the bees. So some nice things are happening on the roof of Tallinn University as well. And she's going to talk about that and also give us some insights about the importance of bees in our lives and how we can utilize what bees are producing besides honey, which is the beeswax. But more for this on Monday. And thank you very much, Mihkel. And I would like some comments as well to hear from Helen.
Well, first of all, when it comes to equality questions, then when we talk about the research stuff and the support stuff, or the people working at the university, then as far as I know, there will be recruited one person. I don't know if it's half position or what, called ombudsman for the university quite soon. Actually, I think the first recruitment round has been done, and I don't think they found any suitable candidate for that, or there was something going on about that. But anyway, it's something that has been done, and yes, I saw the comment that it's 0.2 position, and it's the same with environmental manager positions. It's also 0.2 position. This is something that I don't have any comments about. It was a consensus from the Rectorate, but nevertheless, there are some processes or at least some progress going on that turn. I do agree that this resource reduction or resource management, when it comes to papers and plastic and packaging, is of minor. Is a minor thing already, but still, this is something that has to be taught for the university students and university staff. As we know that the waste being sorted in Estonia is not that does not have that good quality, and it's the same at the university. And it also means that the cleaners taking care of our rooms are well qualified for that. And this quality issue is also something that we look at as of now. And I do waste digging myself quite occasionally, and I look at different bins inside the university, outside the university, in order to understand if that works. So everything that takes time, and we just have to be patient. Well, the bigger issue is that how the processes will be continuing, so that we get quality food, for example, to our cafeterias. That will be we put some quality issues on the table when recruiting Mare cafeteria, and and let's see what they can offer for us, and if we're happy with it. We also gave them examples of menus, for example, in order to reduce meat, for example, and we also asked for more healthy food, and they came up with fried potatoes and so on and so forth. So we have given them feedback, but let's see what sort of food is that they will be offering. Of course, it would be nice to move towards local food. Again, it's a strategic. It should be a strategic goal. Let's see how the rectorate can swallow that. As of now, I know that the cafeterias are fighting for their lives, even if we have sort of reduced their rent and so on and so forth. Or actually, they're not even paying rent. So there are wicked problems around, also because of pandemic, and knowing that the next couple of years will be hard for the state in terms of budget. I think we will see these reflections also at the university, and not letting the sustainability issues dropping off the table in the next years to come, when we will be having most likely smaller budget, is a question for the next rectorate, how they can deal with that. What I would like to do is, yes, for me, food is, I guess, the top priority. Quality food, more salad for free. That's what we asked also from the partner from Mare cafeteria, but they say that they can't offer salad for free. So it's again something that we need to discuss further. Big challenges, yes. Even if it's a small university, let's see what will happen in the future.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much. And definitely there are many things that needs to be done, and needs to be done in the right way, in a strategic way. And regarding the food, I have to say that tomorrow we're doing the sustainable cooking dinner. So basically there are 10 people that already decided to come together and cook together, and today is the voting process of what we actually will cook. And they have submitted such incredible sustainable recipes. And from the minimalism challenge group, I have to say that they are, most of them, very good cooks, and they love to cook. So if the cafeterias or whoever wants something sustainable as menu, we already have the people, and we already have the knowledge about that. I would like to close it up, and of course we're late in time, but it's okay. For some minutes, and thank you very much for staying. To continue caring, to continue taking action and speak about and participate in whatever matters and speaks to your heart mostly, and what you think it is important. I will again advocate a little bit more about the sugar treats. So I found a very nice way suggested by the Changemaker Exchange organization and summit that I was participating with them, that they try to address the issue of mental well-being and how important it is actually to share good things among each other, because we are very taught and we have learned to just say whose fault is that things are not good and who is responsible for this and that. And we forget sometimes that people are also bringing a lot of inspiration and bringing out some good moments. So that is your opportunity during the whole Green Month to share a positive note to any participant, attendee, organizer, or speaker about something that you liked, something that you appreciated, the presence of people in the panels and in the activities during the Green Month. And this can stay open until the 3rd of May. So, and you can also share your sugar treat, the virtual sugar treat, anonymously. So you don't, if you don't want to reveal the name and you just want to spread happiness. And I saw a comment from Annalise. You would like to talk about that, or I should read it loudly? I couldn't get it through, that's why. So please go.
Oh, I mean, I just made the note that it's really, really great that those kind of positions like the ombudsman and also the, I guess, the sustainable development manager, or however it was officially called, are created. But if you offer them like a position with only like 1/4 or like with only 40 hours a month, it's very, very hard to implement any kind of change. And yeah, if you do it already with the approach that you want to change things from the top, but you don't give them the necessary hours or like tools to do it, then yeah, it's kind of sad. But I mean, it's yeah, I guess the students should then voice their opinions about it.
The only thing that I can comment about is that during the time of pandemic, university had to invest to new Wi-Fi systems, which was, I think it was 200,000 euros. All the conferences where we got the money from dropped down, all the seminars, the rent is not being paid by courses, language courses that were that the university was hosting. Actually, there's like there's a lot of money that that university didn't get anymore. So this is one thing. Pandemic hit us hard, and we were lucky that that the ministry didn't take the money away from us that we were afraid of last year. We were afraid that the budget will be cut by 30%, but luckily we even got a little bit more money. But nevertheless, this amount of money that we have right now is just not enough. The other thing is how we prioritize those issues that we have been discussing here for 2 hours. Yes, of course, if we want to see the change quicker, we would need at least the environmental manager to be in half position. Well, to put it on the positive side, I'm happy that I got the environmental manager.
Yeah, from the other side, it's very nice to recognize that already some steps are happening. Maybe more slow than in other universities, maybe in less favorable conditions for the work that they need to do. But on the other hand, it starts happening. So let's shape it in the best way, regardless the amount of money that we have, regardless the working hours, because I guess in the sustainability, unfortunately, in the sustainability topic or the third sector, that it has to do with social, it is always this thought that these people can work for free. These people that do it for the cause. Unfortunately, this is the narrative. I hope that soon will start changing, and also there are some initiatives that are taken around the world to actually pay equally the people who are doing all this work to continue being as we are and continue sustain the social cohesion and environmental cohesion and so on. I would like to thank you all for being here, and especially Mihkel and Helen to be here and bring their insights from the university. And I'm very happy that mostly we are quite diverse regarding our positions within the university, and local and international students, student union from different aspects, and also the life projects, the rectorate and professors. So thank you once more for being here today. And enjoy the sun that you can see is shining and changing the lights all the time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a good
Thank
day.
you for arranging. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.